Hey guys, what's up? If you are simply listening to the audio recording of this, you may hear a difference in this episode of IRL. If you are a visual watcher, then you definitely see a difference in this episode of IRL. Today, I'm coming to you straight from my bed. You are in my bedroom, so you're seeing a really close and intimate part of me. Over here you can see Florence Pugh and Harry Styles. I've got a picture, two identical photo booth photos of me and Lauren. Lauren and I. Boy genius. Another photo of Lauren and I. I'm very sentimental. She's my best friend. So this little rainbow wall sticky, I may or may not have taken it off the wall at the RCC. And a Fleetwood Mac poster. That's about all you can see. I got really close to the mic there. That's about all you can see on my wall. I do have a signed inhaler poster just right above, but you can also see my stuffed animal collection here. Got a broccoli squishmallow for reasons that I feel like you could put together if you thought about it hard enough. I have this little fox guy. He's just from Walmart. He's not really squishy. He's got there's some ASMR for you. There's beads on his butt to weigh him down. But he's wearing this cute turtleneck sweater. I love him. He's like a permanent decoration here. This is the indigo Paige bear. It's like a school bear, but it's quite literally called the Paige bear. So obviously I have it. And over in this corner, you might be able to also see my Jellycat Brussels sprout. I love Brussels sprouts. I actually love broccoli and Brussels sprouts. Controversially, two of the most hated vegetables. Anyways, this is me setting the scene for you, especially if you're not visual. I am in my room because this episode is about burnout, and we'll get into that. But first, I wanted to talk about my thoughts of the week. This actually was just a bit over a week ago. I was having this crazy thought. I go to a lot of concerts. Not nearly as much as I want to go to. I would love to go to more. I have a lot of friends that go to a lot of concerts, and I am very jealous of them for that. I simply can't afford it, but I wish I could. There is concerts all the time that I would go to constantly. I love music. And so I was thinking about what a luxury it would be to have money that you could spend on leisure, because maybe it's a me thing. I feel like it's a student thing, maybe an eldest daughter thing. Spending money makes me feel guilty, especially spending money on leisure. And so I was thinking about how if I had an abundance of money, I wouldn't have to worry about any of that, and I could spend money on leisure whenever I wanted. And if I had that money, I would go to all the concerts I wanted to go to, and I would be able to listen to music all the time, live music, straight from the band, from the artists that I love. And that is something that I love to do. I love to do that. It brings me so much joy. So then I was also wondering what other people would do if they had money that they could spend simply on leisure. Here are some answers. Alex said a coffee. That is so relatable. This is probably a deeper take into this. Alex was one of our production techs last season, so if you recognize the name. But I love going on walks. And going on walks is another thing that you can't do very often when you're super busy, but it's so fun to walk around and look at your surroundings and go to new places and look at stuff. And I also love going and buying an overpriced coffee, and mixing the two is so fun. And if I could, every single day I would go, and I would go on a big long walk and buy an overpriced coffee and just walk around with that overpriced coffee. That would be a luxury times a million. So, yeah, I get that though. Even just when you're tired, like being able to just go pick up a coffee, that is a luxury that I indulge myself in too much. I could save a lot of money, but I'm buying a lot of coffee. Carol, who is one of this season's production techs, said, a water park. That's actually so fun. I could get behind that. I feel like I like an amusement park a little bit more. Simply because, don't get me wrong, I am a roller coaster girl, a water slide girl. I love doing that stuff. I think it's so fun. I am a pretty big adrenaline junkie. I love roller coasters. I love water slides. I love driving really fast. I love, doing crazy things. But I feel like water parks are maybe on the lower tier of that. Simply because I'm in a bathing suit and I don't find myself very comfortable in bathing suits. I would rather be wearing more clothing. And also because you're really relying on gravity on water slides. In a roller coaster, you're like attached to things. You're strapped into a seat, which is strapped into the metal bars, which are strapped to the ground, essentially. But with a water slide, you're kind of just in the air, on water, holding on to a tube, which is a little bit crazier to me. But nevertheless, I love a water slide. A water park would be so fun. My baby sister, I have 2 younger sisters, but my baby sister said that she would pay off my debt. What a darling. What a sweetheart. Don't think she quite understood the meaning of leisure, but nevertheless, her heart's in the right place. That is the sweetest ever. I call my baby sister Munch, and up until Ice Spice, that wasn't an issue, but now it feels a little bit weird. Ever since she was a baby, we called her Munchie because she had big chubby cheeks. She's just so sweet. So then I would shorten it and call her hey Munch, what are you doing? Now it feels weird. I just thought I would stick that in there too. I also call her Teague. If you're ever wondering about the tattoos on my wrists, I have Keek and Teague on my wrists, and those are more commonly what I call my sisters. I call my sisters a lot of things. I have a lot of little nicknames for them, including see you next Tuesday. But as a silly, goofy way. I love my sisters. Finally, Olivia said, so much sushi. I could get behind that. I love sushi. Really funny coming from me, I am not a seafood girl. I don't like seafood. I actually have an issue with fish and meat. I can't prepare it myself at all, really. Because it just gives me chills up my spine. I do love sushi. And sometimes I forget that you can have sushi to eat. Sometimes it doesn't cross my mind. But when it does, it's very exciting. All right. That's all I have. It went a little bit longer this time, I think, so we have that. All right. Let's get into burnout, shall we? This episode is not going to be, how do I put this? Not quite an advice episode, but more of a just relating. I find that IRL in the past, and now IRL isn't a place for telling you how to do things. It's more of telling you what's happened, considering, and hoping that you can relate, or maybe not, or maybe hear it and it'll help you work it out for yourself in a later time. Maybe you just want to hear some stories. I am experiencing extreme burnout right now. If you are visual right now, you will be able to see that I am definitely looking a little bit homeless, a little bit funky. If you're not visual, just know that I'm wearing some blue light glasses because I have a terrible lingering headache. I have very frizzy hair, just not sitting very cute. I'm not wearing any makeup. I'm in a giant Def Leppard shirt, some sweatpants, just sat on my bed. I am one to ignore burnout. And what I mean by that is I am often tired, I'm often exhausted, and I'm often busy. And because of that, I really don't have any other choice but to ignore it. What I mean by that is if I don't do what needs to be done, then it won't get done. So it has to be done regardless of how I'm feeling. I spent the summer working an awesome job. I loved my summer job. I thought it was so cool. It was so fun. But it was definitely high responsibility. It was very stressful. And I was working constantly. Then I came to school. This is all me. Then finished my summer job. Came to school and immediately started school and started looking for a new job. And then I started up IRL again. And I tried to also make sure that I was getting a bit more experience in the field of work that I want to work in. And with all of that, it just accumulated and I would get really tired. I ignored it because, like I said, if I don't do my work, then my work doesn't get done. And if my work doesn't get done, then I either don't get paid or I get fired. And all of what I'm doing right now is for my future and to get a career. And school is the most important about that. And school is the reason why I'm low on money. And I can't neglect it. If I don't do my school, if I don't do my assignments, then I don't pass. And then I have to retake a course, which means that I wasted money on that course and also that I'll have to pay again for that course. And so on top of that, I have IRL. And IRL is something that I get to do for myself and that I find enjoyment in. So obviously I don't want to give up on it. And that's it. I just, I have to work through it. And people always say that when you have burnout, the only way is to just keep going. And that's the truth. But this sometimes blows up in your face. And it definitely did to me. Things that are important for every human being. Getting sleep. I'm not good at getting sleep. I haven't ever been good at going to sleep. And when I have a lot to do, my mind is racing and I get anxious and I can't sleep anyways. You need to eat well, but groceries are expensive. And If you don't have time, then you just pick up something fast or make something fast, and that's usually not healthy. And if you don't have anything fast, sometimes you don't have time to go get food, and then you're having coffee for dinner, and you need physical exercise, no matter how small. Physical exercise in the sense of moving your body. You can't just sit down all day. And sometimes I don't have time to do anything but sit down and do work. I have an email from my boss and I have to work, and then I have to go to class, and then I have to work some more, and then I have an assignment due, so I have to work on that assignment, and then, there's a lot going on. Lastly, communication. I'm not an extrovert at all. Actually, usually I'm very quiet. Usually I will try not to speak. Not that I wouldn't say I'm bad at talking to people always. I try to make myself an engaging person to talk to, but also I choose my words most of the time. And most of the time I decide that what I have to say maybe doesn't hold enough prevalence for me to feel like saying it. And so I keep my thoughts to myself often, but if I'm not communicating with people also, if I don't get to talk to people and just talk about random stuff, it doesn't need to be of any substance, then I'm just kind of with myself. And then I'm thinking about too many things and becoming existential, and then I'm overthinking things and I get sad and I get dark and gross. So this being so busy and being burnt out accumulates to and from being so busy and so wrung over and over again and not being able to get the things that I need to properly take care of myself. And then what happened? Well, hey, I got sick. I got pretty sick too. I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was staying up all night to try and get work done. I was not eating properly. I would eat at random times of the day. I wouldn't eat enough. I wasn't getting enough water. I was definitely going on walks, but I wasn't doing enough of the things that I needed to do. And I got very sick. I got a fever, and then I got COVID, and I was stuck being exhausted, and I still had to do work. I still had to do school. I missed assignments because I couldn't go to class. I had to apply for academic consideration for assignments. So basically, in the huge scheme of whatever this random episode is, I realized a few things. Some of them suck. Some of them aren't fun. But I don't think I was wrong in the sense of there's nothing I can do about burnout, because it is true that regardless, I need to do my work and I need to do my school. And if I want to, I need to record and edit for this podcast. And those are top priority, and it needs to be done. Regardless of how tired I am, regardless of how much assignments I have due that evening, that it all still needs to get done. But I have been realizing that I need to maybe not sell myself so short. And I guess there is advice in this episode because I realized that I'm doing all of this stuff. And on top of all of this stuff, I'm doing it all by myself. Granted, I get help at work from my coworkers on certain things, and in class I have classmates and I have friends who are helping me out on assignments, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm the one who's feeding myself, putting myself to bed. I'm the one getting in the shower and waking up. I'm the one getting on the streetcar and going to class and doing all of this, and then finishing all my assignments still, and I'm still finishing all of my work, and I'm still getting all of this done. And instead of thinking about, wow, this sucks, I'm always tired, I'm so busy all the time, I'm never gonna get a break, maybe I need to think, wow, look at how much I'm accomplishing. Look at all of this stuff that I'm doing. Maybe I don't think that all of it's of substance. Maybe some of it I think is annoying. Maybe I think that this school assignment that I'm working on is not reasonable at all. There's no point in me doing it, but I finished it. And I also finished my work for the day. And I'm regularly and consistently taking care of my podcast. I'm saying my podcast, but there's so many people that go into this podcast, and I'm so thankful for everyone that helps out. So maybe not advice, but reminder that when you're burnt out, you'll have to just push through. You have to just keep going. And it sucks, but be proud of all of the things that you're doing and take care of yourself. Sleep, get exercise. And by exercise, I don't mean you have to be like going to the gym. Go on a walk, move your legs, and eat, feed yourself. It's going to be so much harder if you're not feeding yourself. Anyways, weird episode. Once again, I might have just spoke about things that don't make sense, and maybe you don't relate at all, and maybe I'll change my mind in a year, but here's me talking about burnout. I'm officially COVID-free as of 1 o'clock today. So I'll be back on my grind. All right, guys. That's all for this episode. Thanks for coming along. And I'll see you at the next episode in studio, back to normal-ish, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and linktree, all podcast_IRL. And on our linktree, you can find the direct links to everywhere you would stream a podcast if you want to listen on all the different platforms, and also our YouTube, where you can watch the visual version of this, so you don't have to hear me describe what I'm wearing and you can see instead. All right. Thanks so much. Bye. Mwah.